Hey everybody, welcome to Woodworking Wisdom. My name's Colwin, and today we're going to be looking at some of the new products from Easy Inlay, or more importantly, the ring making product. So I did promise you this last time when we were looking at the foils. This is quite a nice one. I really enjoyed experimenting with these new ring cores. I was first sort of shown the world of ring making when I was over in the States, and really thought it's something that we could sort of bring to you guys. Really, we're doing a couple of different versions. So we're doing ceramic ring cores, and we're doing some bocote, also bocot, which is a Mexican rosewood a ring core as well. So wood and all the ceramic. In the future, we may increase that range, but we're just starting with those. Well, a load of the different sizes as well. Obviously, there's lots of different sizes out there. I keep looking down here, and we have Steph on the trickery, the camera trickery, and all the question asking and things like that. So put your questions in the chat if you have any, and she'll relay them to me, and we'll try our best to answer them. So, Steph, would you go to the overhead camera first?
Yeah,
please?
sure.
So let's just have a quick look at what we've got here. So we've got some really nice, mainly bocot, but I do have, there's a small ceramic one there. But this is what we're going to look at here. Now, if I can bring this up nice and close to the camera and let it settle down. It's the lab-grown opals we're looking at. So it's these glittery, lovely things that are shimmering away. So I'm going to show you really how we embed those into the ring cores, and what the ring cores look like, and a few little tricks and hints and tips around the making of them, really. Now there are all sorts of different types of rings available out there. These are the ones we're going to start with. So I'm just going to pop those to one side, and we've got all colors. I think there's around about a dozen colors in the opals that we're carrying at the moment. Good news is, because the actual range went so well for us, we sold out fairly quickly. The good news is, though, they've just come into stock yesterday. It's been put on the shelves as we speak, so they'll be there for sale again very, very quickly. Question already? Yes.
Ward has come up with a great nickname for you. Wonderway.
Wonder why? Because I wonder.
No, it rhymes, doesn't it? Nice bit of alliteration. Wonderway and Super Steph.
Wood turning way. Super Steph. Yeah,
Wood turning way. That works too.
A few people have said Super Steph.
Yeah, I like Super Steph. I'm not going to lie. I'm going with it. I'm just
going
to take it from now on.
Well, look, when you get these opals, these are, again, if I just get the light on, these are how they turn up. So a little tub full of opals. You can do a good 10 to 12 rings out of one of those if you're careful and don't drop them all over the floor. So we're gonna look to use those in a second. The other thing we're going to use, obviously, the ring core itself. I've got that in its plastic bucket still. So again, we'll have a look at that one. That's the ceramic one. Okay, and we're going to do two things. We're going to use a thick glue to embed these in. We're going to use a little bit of spritz from the activator as well, just to speed things up a little bit for you. And then we're going to finish with the thin version as well. So we'll do a little CA finish on that one. Okay. I do have a couple things I've already made up just to make things a bit easier. But let's start. Now, you wonder why I've got a piece of timber on the lathe. Well, we need to carry the ring core. Right, I'm not going to hold the ring core in my hands, mess around with super glue. I'll end up sticking the ring to my finger. So I don't want to do that. So we're going to make a little device just to hold the ring whilst we're inlaying all those little opals. It is one of those things that you need to be patient with. And if you're anything like me, you need a set of specs. This is safety glasses. You need a set of specs. So I'm going to struggle a little bit. Lots of good light. And you'll see in a minute, I'm going to put a little platform underneath here, but something to hold the opals. Shavings on the floor, not that good idea when we're trying to, manipulate little tiny bits of opal. So we'll have a look at all this in a minute. Let's just round this down. I'm going to use a set of O'Donnell jaws. I've eyeballed these earlier on this morning. So I'm going to use those to hold this piece in a minute. So all I want to do is turn it down to round, then I'll show you what I'm doing with it. So a little bit of woodwork first. So lathe speed to 0, turn the lathe on, turn the lathe up. And we're going to round that down to a cylinder. Or actually a near cylinder. I'm not going to go all the way down. The reason if I go all the way down on this one, it'll be a little bit too small for the jaw, so I'm just going down to that far, truing up the underside. And then we'll pop the chuck on. Oh, Steph, you know what I've forgotten?
What?
That German book again.
Oh,
I was going to set myself an alarm.
Well, I did set myself a reminder. I'm going to Google it. And I'll just shout some ideas at you, and then you can say whether they're right or wrong.
Okay. You don't like that noise. All I'm going to do now, look, we're just going to taper this down. So the ring core I got is size 12. Only because it's the closest one to fit my finger. It's actually one of the largest ones we do. Right, so that's the core, Steph. Oh, she's on the overhead. Well done. I didn't even look. But there, that's the core. Now you can see, again, if we give the camera time to focus, you can see it's got a groove running down through the middle. That's what we're going to fill with these opals. Okay. And we'll do that with the super glue. And now all I want to do is create a holder. So I'm just going to use, we'll make a little taper. And this, of course, can be used over and over again. Right, let's just see how we're going. Wee bit more. Carry on going. Here we are, we're on. Now, normally, I'd put that'd be its final position until all of the opals are on and I finish turning as well. But we're going to take this one off because I'm going to prep. I've already prepped one, sorry, ready for turning because I like to make sure that they dry fully. So we're just going to, in this instance, glue the opals part way around, show you how that process is done, and then we're going to put the one that I've already made in to do the final turning. Yes, Steph, we have a question.
Oh, sorry, I just hit the mic. Sorry, everybody. No, the book. Is the book called Wood Turning Traditional Folk Toys?
Might be. Is there a picture of it?
Yes.
No.
I can't turn the computer around.
I'm going to come around. I'm going to go out of camera just quickly.
One?
No, it's not the one.
Oh, I'll keep looking.
It's a very old one. It's a very old one.
Do you know who it's by?
No.
Oh.
But we're going to keep trying to remember. So far, that's my fourth thing today. I've forgotten. I was supposed to bring in Christmas jumpers. I was supposed to bring in some more cameras. And that's the third one. What was the other thing? Mince pies?
You brought mince pies in yesterday.
I did.
Has it got a mainly white cover?
Yes.
With a blue oval?
No.
Oh, darn it.
We're not going to find it. Everybody wondering that wasn't watching last week, wonder what we're talking about. But there's a book that someone asked to see that I keep referring to, and it's a really nice old picture book, really, of German wood turning and folk art. So nutcrackers, smokers, Christmas carousels, candle arches, all those sorts of things. I promise I will bring it in when I remember. Okay, so a couple of things here. What we have, we've got the thick CA glue. All right, that's the most important bit. That's going to keep everything bonded. Then we've got the opals themselves, the lab-grown opals. And the reason I put this platform here is just an easier way of working. I can pour a few of these out, spread them out, so I can pick sizes. Look. The other thing, because you can see my fingers in comparison to those is a little bit too chunky, so we're going to go with these. And again, this is part of the Easy Inlay range. And there's a couple of different types, a couple of different bends, but this is the one I found most useful for doing this. And so now we're just going to add a little bit of the thick glue into the groove. And using or utilizing these fine nibs. These are really, really handy. You can understand using the regular nib of the tube that it's going to be quite cumbersome, but with these finer ones, it's so nice. And when they clog up, so they'll dry. When they clog up, just cut the end off with a pair of scissors, and you've got you're ready to go again. Really useful way to work. So look, this would be better in a kitchen somewhere with loads of light, away from dust. But we're here. So let's go with trying to find a fairly big one first to start us off. And we're going to just start dropping and arranging. If there's any dry stone wallers out there, you'll appreciate exactly what you've got to be doing. You've got to be fitting all these little opals in. However, don't overthink it too much, because what I tend to do is start laying them in, and then once we've got a few in there, you can start pushing down and they sort of seat themselves in next to each other. And you can afterwards, once you've got your first layer in, you can crush some of these up. These crush quite well. So you can crush some of these up and fill in any blank spaces. Alternatively, and I want to put that one around that way. Alternatively, you can use the black CA glue as a binder and a filler in between. That works really well. So you can see where we're going. I'm just going to add a little bit more on top of that. Don't worry, I'm not going to go all around the piece for you. This is specifically why I already prepped one. I understand that you don't want to be sat there watching me fill this groove with opals for the next hour. Takes about, I say next hour, it takes me usually around about 20 minutes to fill one of these ring cores. And you can see just by pushing down, they all sort of bind and spread and find their own levels. Any questions whilst I'm doing this stuff? Being the thick glue, you can work around a little ways. I wouldn't go more than a quarter at a time, though. The thick glue doesn't dry too quickly. It gives you plenty of time to manipulate things around, but it's also gloopy, sort of thick enough to have a good amount of tack to stop everything falling off the minute you turn the piece around. Saying that, you know, do the first quarter and then harden it, and then progress on.
So not really a question here, but Ward has said I would put a piece of wood on the rails so that you can see better and catch the ones that fall. I have a plyboard that is carpeted on one side. Yeah,
to be honest, Ward, I was looking for an Allen key so I could adjust my my depth stop here so I could put this underneath, but I couldn't find one, and I didn't want to mess around whilst you guys were waiting. But absolutely try and catch everything, because tiny little pieces. If I drop one of these, I'm not going to hunt around in the shavings for it.
Pete from Trusted Trees has just said Cole just told his wife that suggested that he should put his lathe in the kitchen. She's not happy with you, Colwin.
Well, yeah, right. Here's a story. So my old boss, Jeffrey Manley, when I was a trainee turner, an apprentice turner 40 years ago, I know you wouldn't think it, but yeah, 40 years ago, he started with his lathe in his front room and his bandsaw in his bathroom because he didn't have a workshop and he was that dedicated to the craft. Yeah. Luckily, he didn't have a planer thicknesser at the time.
Did he have a wife at the time?
He didn't. No, funny. No, he didn't actually.
It surprises me. Can't say I'd be very keen on having a bandsaw in my bathroom, I must admit.
No. Right, you can see we're just sort of building up the layer. Every time every now and again, you'll see me just wipe the tweezers, only because you get a little bit of that glue on it. The pieces won't just fall off, and then you end up sort of pushing everything around, trying to release them from the tweezers. So just a little wipe every now and again. You can see as you push down that how everything, it's almost like a like those old penny machines at the arcade, you know, when you put 2 pence down or a quarter down and they go down and then they push each other off the shelves. That's what you're doing. You're sort of shoving them in and they fill their own gaps. There we are. I think we're probably getting to the point where I need to say that's enough for the minute. But you can see what's happening. Can you there, yeah, that's it. So we're starting to fill these gaps now, and we're going to work our way all the way around that one. What I'll do is, just before I lose too many of these, I'm just going to bring those back into the tub. We'll look at just hardening what we've got there done. Go into that. There. Steph, is that your stomach making that noise?
No, I thought it was your stomach making that noise. It's not mine.
There we are.
I've had lunch today.
Okay. So I'm just going to pop those to one side. You would start that process. Then I tend to just give it a bit of a squitz just to harden that off so far. Leave it for a while. Don't put your glue back on now, because obviously that's going to harden. But look, already that's nice and relatively hard. But if I turn it upside down, there's nothing's going to come off. That's what we're worried about. That's the only thing. So as long as I haven't glued that onto there, let's get that close into the camera. Hey, and you can see already a little bit of a shimmer. You wait until we get some lovely finish on this. But there, that's where we are. Now you've got to go all the way around and finish everything. So a little bit of time there. Like I say, about 20 minutes after you've had a bit of practice. Here's one I made earlier, or started or filled earlier. So that one now has, there we are, that one has the opals all the way around. So now on to the next stage. I'm going to use the same little jig. Just gently pop it on. When you do this with the Bocosi, the wooden ring cores, just even more care than I'm doing there. You don't want to expand that out too much. I'm going to bring you closer, and so you can see a bit better. There we go. And we're just going to change over from the little platform back to a tool rest. And just for safety, I don't mean my safety, I mean safety to not lose this down a dust extractor, I'm going to bring the tail sock up and just bring that right up to the end. So that's going to firm up that little jig. And if it did happen to come off, it can't go anywhere. All right, there we go. It's getting a bit closer. Oh, we'll get a bit. There we go. That's better.
We've got Ben Jamin. He's asking if you remember Fizz Whiz sweets. You know, like the
Fizzy, I
candy?
do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's saying, does this stuff taste like that?
I don't think it'll pop that much. That's the only trouble.
No, might be a little bit crunchy on the teeth.
Just put the whole packet in your mouth and then close your mouth and just let it crunch in your mouth. Really, really quick now. I want to get some speed. You could go carbide if you wanted to. I'm going to go to one of these wonderful skews. Not sure whether I've showed you these in the past. This little splay skew. I'm going to give it a good sharpen. So just a little diamond file. Just going to do a little negative rake scrape. Very, very gently. Nice and gentle. Stop and have a quick look just to see where we are, so I don't give myself any surprises. Yeah, that's coming down nicely. Another sharpen. Issues with it? Oh, okay. Too close, wasn't it? Yeah. Too close. Come on. Tempting as it is, just keep going, don't press too hard. As the edge comes off the tool, just give it another sharpen. Not on a mechanical sharpening system, just on the diamond file. Don't need to take much material off the skew.
So Colin, we've got a question here from Ward. He's asking, do the lab-grown gems turn nicer, or do they turn better
than real ones?
Like real ones, yeah.
I don't know. Is the honest answer. It's been probably about 35 years since I've turned real opals, and my memory was not a bad one of it. So I don't think there's a huge amount of difference, if I'm honest.
We've lost focus again on that overhead.
Where's that focus? There it is. There we are. Right, we'll have another look and see where we are, and then we're going to get some abrasive. Yeah, we're so close now. I'm going to start on the abrasive. So I'm going to put the dust extraction on. I certainly don't want to be taking any dust in from this.
And we've got a question here from Steve Ashland Turner. What grit diamond file are you using today?
Oh, that's a 600. I think that's 600. Yeah, that's classed as a fine. So 600. But normally in my back pocket I have a dual fold, so it'd be a 6 and a 900 on either side. But yeah, there's just a sharpen really. Keep away from the bench grinder.
Frederick's asking, sorry, quickly. Is whether you can hear me now because you put the extractor on. Do opals turn the same as soapstone? No,
they're harder.
No. Okay.
They're much harder than soapstone. They don't have that soft feel to them. You know, when you turn soapstone, you get a real like a talcum powder feel on your fingers. You don't get that. So yes.
I've got another question.
Go
Off topic from what we're doing today.
Yeah.
But Gnarly Oak has been given a flowering cherry tree that fell about a week ago. Its branches range from 3 inches to 10 inches. Can he turn it wet? Or does it need to be dry?
Right, that's a good question. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back to it when I finish sanding. Then I can hear it, and hopefully everyone else will be able to hear. So remember that one. As soon as I finish with the dust extractor, we'll do that question.
Hearing's going, isn't it, Colwin?
Sorry, I didn't know what you said. Right, 150. Let's start with 100. You can't hurt the ceramic. You're fine with our abrasives. It'll be all right. We're going to come back out a little bit to stop that happening. All right, let's stop and see where we are. It's looking good now. So we're going to go back to the 150. I have done a video of making these without a lathe. Steph, that video, is that on the product page on the website, or is it on YouTube?
It's on our YouTube channel, and it's also on the product page on the website.
Perfect. So that would just be using a cordless drill and a little setup jig. So if you're thinking about not wanting to do it on the lathe, or even if you don't have a lathe, then have a look at that video. There are ways around it.
And there's a written blog on our website as well about it.
Okay, we're down with that's it. So let's go to the finer grades now. So this is a 320 already.
Just want to let you know, Benjamin, that Jason is here ready to sign your tools for you.
320, 400. Well, that is all the sanding of that one ready. Let's turn off the extraction. Have we got an imposter in the room?
We have got an imposter in the room, but it's by request from one of our watchers today. I have already said that Jason is here ready for his request. He has asked if Colwin, if he sends his tools into you, will you get Jason to sign them for him?
Sorry.
Who'd you pay to get that question then?
That was nasty.
Anyway, moving on swiftly.
Do you want to go back to the cherry tree question?
Cherry tree question,
cherry
yeah.
tree,
You can tell it's nearly Christmas. Everybody's messing around a bit too much.
Well, this is the last live for the rest of the 2023.
Oh.
So the next live will be in 2024.
Oh.
Because we're all going to be on holiday.
We're going to be doing recordeds and all that sort
but we
of
will
stuff.
we will have videos to put out for you all. It's just we'll be at home eating mince pies.
Eating mince pies and drinking cherry.
Well, you will. Okay.
Yeah, cherry tree question. Yeah, lovely. Great time of year for the trees to be coming down if you want to convert them. So 3 to 10 inches.
3 to 10 inch branches. Yeah.
Yeah. So the best thing to do with it, to be honest, is leave them as long as you can, stand them up, and let them dry, because the sort of 3-inch diameters, if you cut them down through the middle like we do with most timber, then you're not gonna get a huge amount out of them unless you want to let them dry and make light pulls or bottle stoppers, those sorts of things. But when you start getting a sort of 10 inches there, you can cleft it right down the way, right down through the middle. Then you get your bowl blank from the side, of course. Remember, it doesn't come from the ring of the tree. It comes from the side of the tree. So you have to cleft in the middle. As soon as you cleft in the middle, you still get full diameter and you can turn bowls, fine. And they're okay to turn wet, but leave them thick. Let them dry. They usually take about sort of 10 months to dry fully for you to then return to a finished piece. But that's much quicker than leaving them in plank form, because it takes a year per inch plus one. So a 3-inch board is going to be 4 years to dry. So rough turn is always the best way to go. If you leave them solid, they're going to crack all over the place and you'll lose a lot of it. All right. So you do need to do something with it. Either just on the smaller pieces, lock them to 5-6 foot lengths, end stick them. They'll be ready in about 6 months, or rough turn the bowl blanks into about 1.5 inches in terms of thickness. That's the best way to use it. No question.
We've got like a kind of question, I think,
Yep.
from Ward. He's asked, when's Super Steph and Fluffy scheduled? So is Fluffy Jason?
Mark. Yeah, Mark.
There you go.
When is it? I don't know. It's New Year sometime. I've got to talk to Mark.
Whenever he's free.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday, I guess.
Now he's in. I was going to say now he's in Bude. No, he's moved from Bude, isn't he? He's West Willow now.
He's near my parents.
Yeah. So we'll have to talk to Mark and we'll arrange something. See how he's getting on.
See if he's still up for the challenge.
And I want to be doing the cameras on that one because that would be a funny one.
It might be a long one.
Right then. So I think we filled most of those gaps when we were doing the thick glue. So what we're going to do now is a CA finish. And when you do a CA finish, don't use the same piece of paper every single time. Use it, let it dry, next bit. Use it, let it dry, next bit, and so on. So a little bit of care here. You do need safety specs on, but you're not going to be going very, very quick. So I'm going to be having the lathe running here. That's about fast enough for me. That's 300 RPM, making sure that's secure. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on. This is the thin CA glue, remember. A little bit of glue on. And then you're going to coat it and you're going to walk away. We're not going to walk away. You're just going to back off. Don't try and wipe over that again because you'll end up gluing things to it. So what I'm saying now about using a different bit of tissue is not that same spot. We're going to come away. I'm going to fold that over and we're going to go to another spot. Okay, just be aware of that. So I'm just checking, is that okay? Is it dry? And by now it pretty much would have dried, I would have thought. So another go. There we are, another wipe over and walk away. Don't do anything else. Go to another area. A little bit on, leave it alone. And it's quite a patient task. Now you can be putting 10, 12, 15 coats of this on if you want to. And the more you put on, the more shinier it will get. We're going to keep going and going and going. I'm only going to do a couple of coats, 5, 6 coats for you, and then we're going to go to the next thing.
While we're doing coats of CA glue, we've had a question. Mark Woodward asked, how's your new workshop going?
The workshop is looking amazing. I'm really, really, really chuffed. Shop is up and running. I'm demonstrating there at the moment every day from Thursdays to Saturdays in front of the main window. The student lathes are being put in place. We're already mid-January to be taking our first students, which I'm really excited about. And we're going to be having 2 to 3 students at a time. So it's a really exciting position to be in, and it's mine and my wife's thing together with a lot of support from Axminster Tools. So they're really, really helping out. And we're at the other end of Axminster, so we're really close to them as well. So if you come on a course, then obviously part of that course will be taking us a visit to the shop to spend your money if you have any.
I must admit, I popped up last Thursday and it looks very good. It looks very good, and it's nice and cozy in there, which is always nice.
At the moment.
Got another couple of questions. Do you want them now, or do you want to wait until you finish the CA glue?
Carry on.
Carry on. Like it. Mark Saunders has asked, I'm curious before he starts using epoxy resin, is it biodegradable? If not, how would he dispose of it?
We said this before, and at the moment, none that I know of are biodegradable. So we used to do epoxy, and there's quite a few that use grown materials, so natural products in the manufacture, and the epoxy was about 80% of a grown material, so not a man-made material. The same old problem occurs though. Once it sets, once it's hard, it is effectively a plastic. And so the only way to dispose of it would be your recycling centre, and I would be in the plastics department, then speak to them and see what they have to say. Unfortunately, no, it is not biodegradable. None that I know of are at the moment.
Next question. You ready?
Yep.
So Frederick's asking, is there much difference between the makes of CA glue, i.e. is thin glue the same for all eggs?
The ones I've used, there isn't a huge amount of difference. What I like this O3a stuff, I don't get as much of a chemical reaction when you add the accelerator. So you will get cloudiness if you put too big an area of glue on and then try and dry it rapidly. But on this sort of size, I haven't found too much of that. You know, that white residue that you get sometimes. I haven't found that half as much on this. So I'm a bit of a fan of this at the moment. I also like the black version, so you can get a black glue as well, which is great for filling gaps. Really, really nice. So no is the answer. You know, the only difference I found is that residue. Yeah.
And we've got a question from Jim B. Where can Jim learn more about Colwin's shared lessons?
Well, there will be. We're that fresh at the moment. The website is still being constructed, but will be from our website. Best thing to do, Jim, is just give me a shout on my email address, which is colwinwaymaker@gmail.com, and I'll send you a list of course dates and so on. But there will be, if you go to the Axminster store, if you go to the Cardiff store, we will have a poster with a QR code there to drive you to that web address once I've got it all fixed and ready. But for the meantime, yeah, just give me an email and I'll send you a list.
Attila the hamster is asking, does that have its own accelerator or will the other one do?
So I tend to go with the same brand accelerator. So whether I'm using a Type Bond or whether I'm using the O3a, I'll go with the same brand accelerator. I don't know whether it makes a difference. I haven't experimented with it. It just feels right for me to do that, just in case.
Just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, just in case.
And Frederick Day's asking, can you be your first student, please?
I'd love to say yes, but we're doing quite well on course bookings, if I'm honest with you. Frederick, give me an email. We'll do something. There we are. I think I'm going to draw a line under that. We're not going to do any more coats. We're going to stop and have a look and see where we are at the moment. Look, there we are. Beautiful. And what it's doing inadvertently, it's filling the gaps even more. It's creating one level surface. And really nice. I'm just going to give it a bit of a squitz with the accelerator just in case there's any residue. There we are, a bit more tissue. And one little thing I would be very aware of when you're using any CA glue is the chemical reaction that occurs. Okay, so that's obviously a piece of tissue. You may not. Oh, sorry, there's a piece of tissue. That's the one I've been using. A lot of CA glue in any one place gets extremely hot. So do be aware of things like tissue and stuff. When you finish using it, make sure you don't just put it in the bin and walk out the workshop. I would certainly make sure it's fully dry. Maybe put it under a tap, cold water, that sort of thing, or put it in a fire bin if you have one. But they do get warm, so don't leave them unattended once you've used them. And also watch your eyes. The vapor it gives off is not a friendly one, and it stings your eyes, and you don't want to get the mixture of glue and accelerator on your skin. A chemical burn will occur. So do be aware of all of those things. I've given that a squirt, sorry.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I could see your shoulders jiggling because I said squits. I have no idea what you're talking about, but
Just the spritz will do, like a
A
spritz.
spritz will
You know,
do.
like a spritz of perfume or something.
Oh,
that'll do.
right, okay. What's wrong with squits?
I mean, there are nicer words. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just going to the finishes cabinet because I'm going to get myself an abrasive paste of some sort. Now, it's entirely up to you which one you use. I've got my favorites, but abrasive paste or acrylic polish or any of those things that you use for your pens, things that you use to finish your timber. I have a couple here. So I've got True Grit and I've got acrylic polish. Either works really well. You can even buff. So let's have a go with the True Grit.
Is that the 5th or the 6th thing you've forgotten to get organised
Ah,
today?
nice. All right. All right. There. Now we can turn the lathe speed up. Give it a little bit of a polish. Just to lay everything down nice and flat. They're shiny. Now, if you wanted to take it then to your buffing wheel, you can. Absolutely. You can make it even shinier again. But I'm just going to show the camera what we've got there, which with relative ease. Get that to focus nicely. Get the light on it. The nice thing with these opals is you get that real glimmer as the opals catch the light. Okay, and that was a really, really quick. Well, I say it was quick only because I had already prepped a lot of those opals. Is that big enough to fit on there? Just look at that. There we are.
It does look lovely.
All right. That was a nice, simple thing to do. So remember, ring cores. Ring cores are the bit you buy. Opals, you select your color that you like, and then you just take your time. A little bit of that thick super glue, popping them in, do a quarter at a time, give them a spritz of the accelerator, move on to the next bit, and so on. Use any of the burnishing compounds, whether that's a wax like the True Grit, or whether it's one of the acrylic polishes. They all work. They're really good. And the finer you go, the shinier you're going to get. The more layers you go with your super glue, the more you're going to, the shinier you're going to get as well. So it's quite a nice gift. These, like I say, they are available in all different sizes. I don't know what ring sizes are because I'm a bloke, but yeah, have a look on the website. You'll see the size chart there. So there. Any more questions, Steph? That's a really quick one, isn't it? 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was a good one though. It's because you did the Blue Peter moment, wasn't it? Because you already had one prepped ready to go for the next stage.
Organisation's my middle name.
No more questions really. Just general chit chat.
General chit chat. Well, look, thank you ever so much for sticking with us in 2023. I know Jason's got a recorded one coming up on Thursday, isn't he?
He has got a recorded one coming up on Thursday. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is.
But yeah, he'll be with you on Thursday, if not live, recorded. But thank you ever so much, everybody. Have fantastic holidays. Enjoy your Christmas, and we're going to catch up with you again in 2024. So remember what I always say: if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, share us around, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications button, and yeah, we'll see you next year, everybody. Merry Christmas.